Alrighty, so Anthropic just dropped Claude Opus 4.6 today, and the entire AI world is losing its mind. The benchmark scores are insane. I will give it that 68.8 on ARC AGI2, which is just this test for general reasoning. For context, GPT 5.2 by OpenAI got 54%, Gemini got 45, and of course, as we know, Grok with Elon's XAI got 15.9%. So now if you're a Tesla investor, you might be looking at that and going, wait, is Grok falling behind? Is this bad for Tesla? And I get it. But here's the thing I want to talk about today, and it's bigger than just Tesla. It's about the entire AI landscape and the world, where the world is actually headed. Because here's my take. The AI that wins the benchmark race, whatever stats that we see, are not going to win the real world. And I think that most people are completely missing this. Everyone's talking about chatbots, which AI can write better code or benchmark scores. But honestly, the AI revolution that is actually changing economies, that's affecting jobs, labor, how we live, it's not about thinking, it's about doing. And it's about the AI that can operate in the physical world. So you see where I'm going with this. And that's a completely different game as it stands. One that I think Tesla actually is positioned to win. So if you're into kind of this deep dive on the AI, the economy, what it means for your investments, hit subscribe. I'm going to be covering a lot more of this as we move forward. And so let's get into it. So let me just give you the basic cold notes of why everyone's kind of freaking out. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, which by the way is the AI that I honestly use every single day right now, Claude Code and Cowork, just released Opus 4.6, and the numbers are legitimately impressive. On this, I'll pull up the screenshot on the ARC AGI2 benchmark, which tests abstract reasoning, basically how well an AI can think through novel problems that it has never seen before. It scored 68.8%. That's an 83% improvement over their previous version. And you can see 5.2 GPT 5.2 scored 54.2%. Gemini 3 scored 45.1%, and Grok 4 only 15.9%. And that's a massive indicator of where the world's headed. And I know what you're thinking, fit what 16% for Grok versus 69 almost percent nice for Claude Opus 4.6. It's a massive gap. Is Grok really just that bad? But I'm not exactly, right? Grok 4 actually dominates on specialized tasks. That's where it really specializes in. On the math Olympiad problems, Grok scores 62%, I think, best in class. On the humanities last exam, which is another one that a lot of people look at, Grok is actually the first model to even crack 50% on that. So it's very good at specific things that it does. But on general reasoning, kind of broad, flexible thinking that you need to handle these novel situations, Grok is actually trailing. And that's what the headlines are all about right now. So the question is really this: does this actually matter? Right? My answer is kind of, but not in the way that most people think. Because here's the thing about benchmarks. Benchmarks measure how well an AI can think in a controlled environment, but it's kind of like judging a construction company by their SAT scores, right? Like, sure, it tells you something, but it doesn't really tell you whether or not they can build a house. And the AI revolution that's coming, that's here, one that's actually going to reshape this economy that we're in the next 3 to 5 years, isn't about AI that can actually think best in a vacuum. It's about the AI that can actually do things in the real world. And so let's zoom out for a second and talk about what's actually happening with the AI in the economy, because I think this is the most important conversation that we can have right now. Everyone and the mom is focused on chatbots. Okay. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, they're all fighting over who can write the best email, who can code the best, who can pass the bar exam, blah, blah, blah. Stuff that, yes, I guess matters. Knowledge work is getting disruptive and displaced here. But the thing that nobody's talking about, 80% of the economy is physical. It's not just email, spreadsheets, it's transportation, manufacturing, logistics, warehouse, retail, construction, healthcare. Like all of these industries rely on physical labor. And the $50 trillion question, which isn't, okay, which AI can write the best code or, best email code, maybe, and I'll talk about the exception to that. It's actually which AI can actually do the physical work. Think about it. I mean, we've had software automation for decades, but the jobs that are hardest to automate aren't actually the desk jobs. They're the physical jobs, driving that truck, working in that warehouse, flipping those burgers, assembling products in the factory, taking care of elderly people. These jobs require AI that can see, move, manipulate objects, navigate in the real world. That's a completely different problem than the passing a benchmark test. And that's where I actually think the conversation about AI is actually backwards a little bit. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, like these are brilliant companies building amazing AI, but they're all stuck in the cloud. They're building brains without any of the body. So you see where I'm going. Claude 4.6, amazing. 69% on the reasoning test on ARC AGI2, amazing, right? But can it drive you to work? Can it fold your laundry? Can it shift, can it work multiple shifts in a factory without getting tired? No, it's software, right? It lives in a data center. And the AI that actually changes the economy, the one that replaces the physical laborer, creates the robotaxis, builds the humanoid robots, that AI needs to exist in the real world. It needs hardware. It needs sensors. It needs actuators. It needs to be deployed at scale. And so here's the thing: every AI company right now can build a chatbot, right? I mean, maybe I could even build one, but only one company is building the full stack: the AI, the robots, the cars, the factories, the energy infrastructure to even power it all. And that company is Tesla. So actually, let's talk about what Tesla's building, because I think most people, even Tesla investors, don't fully appreciate their approach here. Anthropic builds, AI models. OpenAI, same thing. Google, same thing. They're competing on benchmarks, on reasoning ability, on who can process more tokens. Tesla, Tesla is building an AI that operates in the physical world. FSD, full self-drive, obviously we all know this, is an AI that makes real-time decisions in a chaotic, unpredictable environment. It's not just answering trivia questions, right? It's navigating construction zone, pedestrians, weather, other drivers, all at 70 kilometers or miles per hour. The margin for error on that is close to nil, right? Optimus, humanoid robot. AI that actually has to manipulate objects, walk on uneven terrain, coordinate complex physical movements. It has to actually learn by observation and adapt to new skills. These are benchmark problems. These are real world problems, and solving them actually requires something that none of the other AI companies have: data from the physical world. Data. And so Tesla has millions of cars on the road. We all know this, all collecting real world data, right? Billions of miles, every edge case, every weird intersection, every unpredictable scenario. Tesla's collecting that, and the AI is learning from it. And so Anthropic, for example, can build an amazing model with an amazing ARC AGI2 score of 69% on reasoning. But if it can't collect driving data, for example, and they don't have robots in factories, they don't have the physical infrastructure to deploy that AI in the real world. And here's the other thing: Tesla isn't just building AI, they're building the factories to manufacture robots at scale. We know about the S and X recently shutting down and then converting that into an Optimus factory. They're building the energy infrastructure as well: the solar, the batteries, the megapacks to power it all. This requires a lot of power. They're building the charging network, the vehicle fleet, the entire ecosystem that we're going to live in the next 3 to 10 years. And this vertical integration at a level that no AI company can even match. Let's be honest. Can you think of one? Even the competitors in China don't come close to the scale and the vertical integration that Tesla currently has. And the SpaceX and XAI merger, potentially merging back into Tesla, feeds into this narrative. And so now is, honestly, let's ask, like, is Tesla AI as good as, for example, Opus 4.6 on benchmarks? No. Does it trail on general reasoning? Yes. But here's what I think that actually matters more. Tesla is the only company that can take the AI from the cloud and deploy it in the physical world at scale. And so, for example, Waymo has great self-driving tech, right? But I mean, we all know Waymo's cars cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? With all the LiDAR sensor equipment, they have to pre-map every street. So maybe they got a couple thousand cars out there. Tesla has millions of cars, vision only, 8 cameras. The moment unsupervised is approved in any area, in theory, this year, they can flip the switch with an over-the-air update and deploy the largest robotaxi fleet on the planet overnight. So it's not a benchmark advantage, that's a deployment advantage. And in the real world, deployment wins, not benchmarks, right? In theory, in academia, maybe. So let's talk about what this actually means for the economy and jobs, because I think this is the part that's going to affect everyone. There's all this anxiety right now about AI taking jobs, and it is valid. AI is going to replace a lot of work. But I think most people are focused on the wrong jobs. Everyone's worried about the writers, the coders, the lawyers, the knowledge workers. And yes, that's happening. But the bigger disruption, the one that's coming, the one that affects more people, is actually physical labor. Just think about the numbers. I think there's 3.5 million truck drivers in the US alone. Millions more, way more in warehousing, logistics, millions in manufacturing, millions in retail and food service. If you can build a robot like Optimus that can do the physical work reliably, and cheaply, and you're not disrupting one industry, you're disrupting the entire foundation of the labor economy. That's exactly what Optimus is designed to do. A humanoid robot that can learn from these tasks by observation, work in unstructured environments, and be manufactured at a scale of maybe 25K to 30K, let's say a pop. That's cheaper than 1 year of minimum wage. And so to be clear, I'm not saying this is all good or this is all bad. It is very complicated, but there are going to be massive dislocations. People are going to lose jobs. People are going to have to figure out what the new economy means and what models to use. But as an investor, you need to understand where this is going. The companies that can deploy AI in the physical world, that can actually replace labor, not just assist knowledge work, those companies are going to be the ones that capture the value from this transition. And right now, Tesla is the only company building all the pieces. The AI, the robots, the cars, the factories, the energy, no one else even comes close to that full stack. And so here's where I land on all of this. Opus 4.6 is amazing, right? It's impressive. Benchmarks look good. I'm going to shift to it with all of my models. Yes. And the benchmark scores are real. Grok does trail on general reasoning. But if we're comparing AI models in a vacuum, yes, Anthropic is ahead by a mile. But we're not investing in benchmarks. We are investing in the real world. And in the real world, the question isn't which AI thinks best. It's which AI can actually do the things at scale. And that's robotaxis. That's Optimus. That's FSD. That's physical AI deployed across millions of vehicles and eventually millions of robots. So Tesla isn't winning the benchmark war, and XAI and Grok not winning that war. Let's be clear right now. But they're building the infrastructure to win the deployment war. And in the long run, I think actually that matters a lot more. Again, I'm just a regular guy giving my take on this situation, so take everything with whatever I say with a grain of salt. Just an idiot on YouTube. But look, I'm so bullish. Not because Grok is the best AI platform out there. It's not. Not because Tesla is the only company bridging this gap from AI that thinks to AI that does. But that gap of where Tesla is at, that changes everything. So that's my take. 4.6, Opus 4.6 drop, benchmarks are moving, the AI race is heating up, but the real revolution isn't happening in the data centers. It's actually happening in the physical real world, and Tesla is positioned to lead that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think benchmarks matter? Have you tried 4.6? I want to hear what you think. Hit subscribe on your way out. I'm going to be covering a lot more about AI, where the economy is headed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah, signing off. Peace.